top-notch privatization solutions offered at their Prioritizing Privacy conference. This conference is dedicated to informing the public about the latest innovations and best practices in data privacy. Cliff Hughes Online will broadcast live from the conference on July 3 and 4 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tune in for insightful discussions with speakers from Trinidad, Barbados, the United Kingdom, and Jamaica, and explore the future of data protection. You don't want to miss this. That's a live broadcast of the Prioritizing Privacy conference on July 3 and 4 during Cliff Hughes Online, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Privacy and Legal Management Consultants.
My name is Dujan and I come from Appleton Basic School. My Olympic hero is Usain Bolt.
Away cleanly, Bolt has got a very good start indeed.
One of my mottos is that, anything is possible. Don't think limits on that. And I feel that I've proven that throughout the years. I never thought I would be this great at what I've done. But I want to say to the young kids growing up, just live your dream, work hard, stay focused, and just be strong and just keep on pushing and it will come true. So thank you.
Watch the clock, it's goal for Bolt, and again, he's done it again. A new world record for Usain Bolt.
Stay tuned to the Paris Olympic at Nationwide 90 FM.
It's a big sale at Fontana Pharmacy from June 27th to June 30th. Get up to 70% off select items in-store and online. Deals on cosmetics, household, home decor, and more. Plus, buy one, get one free on select items. Visit any of our 7 locations and follow us on social media for details. Don't miss the big sale at Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
Nationwide 90 FM is at it again. Team Revolution will clear every hurdle and sprint to the finish line as we cover the games of the 33rd Olympiad from Paris, the city of love.
3 meters clear, 5 meters clear, and away he goes. He continues on his way towards another gold medal. 5 gold medals, 5 world records.
Nationwide's coverage is powered by our diamond sponsor, Fosrich, fostering rich customer service across all locations island-wide.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield, Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628 to 30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
Jamaica. Our young people are world leaders, innovators, and game changers. They are creative, intelligent, bold, and they are champions. My youths, you have the power to transform Jamaica. Our country needs your ideas, your opinions, your solutions, and your support. Full time now with kick out crime and violence, rape culture, unemployment, and all of the other problems in Jamaica land we love. I'm Empress Scolding, encouraging all young people to come make we talk up. Pan Talk Up Radio. Go on with it, youths. Talk up youth. Myself a talk up youth.
And so we come to know these youths and show these youths. Talk up yourself, the youths to know them roots. Nurture them, protect and love and hear these youths. Music make them know I love we show these youths.
Let's save the youth, not kill the youth. I build we come for build the youth. Stop trick and fool and kill the youth. I build we come for build the youth. Empower and then skill the youth. I build we come for build the youth. Youth in action, Jamaica, we are
Build the youths there.
talk up youth in Jamaica.
Hey, oh yeah, boy. Listen.
you right now. Now is the time. Youth for chat and youth for act and youth for unite right now. No silence, you youth. You have to stand for your rights now. Now is the time.
Tell the people. We not listen when them attack. Chimney, new government, give thanks. Sing it. You know, every day, realest thing here in our world, brother. We give thanks, for real. You spend all that money on your watch. How much time you spend with your son? So much money in the club. How much you spend with the ones you love? The simple things are your blessings. Simple things, them are your blessings, a blessing. Simple things are your blessing. And you don't notice your blessings. You pick it with the shoes by your feet. Now pick and choose the friends where you keep. You now watch where you eat. When last you get a good sleep. The simple things are your blessings. Simple things are your blessing, your blessing. Simple things are your blessing. You better notice your blessing. Sing it. Simplicity we use to survive. Many find it difficult because them ignorant and I. One alone they get in, I go live another life. Telling them again but I know in other device. Life, no get chance too often. Cut out some of the sadness and invest in a laughing. Time you take a stress, lifetime passing. Tell them say you love them for you see them in a coffin. Let me tell you this man. Good days, bad days, you know say you went up. Me woulda trade house and car and shed up. Just forget 1 more minute with my brother. So you get up, spend time together. Cherish every second of the day when you're there up. Gotta tell you, I had a close one yesterday. You put an angel over me. The simple things are your blessings. Simple things, them are your blessings, your blessings. Simple things are your blessing. And you don't notice your blessings. The simple things are your blessings. Simple things, them are your blessing, your blessing. Simple things, them are your blessing. You better notice your blessings. We've got life, so let's live. You make the time for chase the paper. When last you say a prayer. We've got life, so let's live. And while you're worshiping, remember nothing lasts forever. The simple things are your blessings. Simple things, them are your blessings, your blessings. Simple things, them are your blessings. You better notice your blessings. The simple things, them are your blessings. Simple things, them are your blessings, your blessings. Simple things, them are your blessings. You better notice your blessings. Simple things.
Talk Up Youth, talk the truth. I asked the Bush that representing for Talk Up Youth. Here and nationwide, 90 FM, every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bush.
In life, in life, like royalty, royalty. Hey, if I ever make it in a life, you are gonna be living like royalty. So me happy say the thing alright. Never ever happy think twice, no way. If I ever make it in a life, you are gonna be living like royalty. So me happy say the thing alright. Never ever happy think twice, no way. Me used to sleep on Stagger Coach. Me used to sleep on Corey Coach. Them and they never left me out. Me used to live at Eddie House. Me never keep me own a key. She keep my used to let me out. Me bring him with me go LA. It's like a him get nominated. Watch the Grammy side of me. Cause how much people can you say would feed you when you're hungry, when you brought them bless you with money? But I have been so fortunate, surrounded by so many people, make sure say me compensating. And them the thing me can't forget. Your daughter and my daughter wants me living, she no happy fret. If I ever make it in a life, you are gonna be living like royalty. So me happy say the thing alright. Never ever happy think twice, no way. If I ever make it in a life, you are gonna be living like royalty. So me happy say the thing alright. Like royalty, royalty. Hey.
Man, I set it like G a card. Remember when me get me first under a card. Cartel say clocks up and it did record. Shell the world me first, it record. Call me blessed, them reaping the reward. Make me first meal, remember when me used to starve. Do no part.
Me say talk up youths, yeah. You have to stand for your rights now. Now is the time.
Tell the people.
Good morning, Jamaica, and welcome to another edition of the Talk Up Youth Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth, right here on Nationwide 90 FM. If you're listening to us on 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, or 90.9 FM band, Digiplay, or Flow, it's good to have you this morning. You are listening to the voice of the producer boss, aka Damien Scarlett, and I feel like I have not been in this studio for quite a little time. It's about 2-3 weeks, but I'm here today. I'm with us, and we have a great show. But we also have someone co-hosting this morning. You have not heard or seen him in a good while. Him must not scandal.
What you're not about to do this morning, Damien, is scandal me. But good morning, Jamaica. This is the voice of Stephen Francis, resident teacher at Talk Up You.
Resident teacher, and you're also a evening scholar.
Lord of his
You have to talk the things.
We have to talk the things, but in time and place. Yes.
All right, so Stephen is with us today, and we're focusing on cyber safety, cyber security, and social media. That's our focus this morning, and we want to kind of just jump into that conversation because when you look at today's world, Stephen, it's an interconnected world, and as you know, technology, advances, but with great power comes great responsibility. So even though there are the uptakes and the good side of social media, there are still things that we also need to know and to operate by, of course. Right? The ethical side of things. So I want to get into that conversation today. So later on in our segment inside Youth for Chat and What Say You, we'll be focusing on that, and we'll be hearing from a talented, tech-minded young Jamaican who is currently interning for one of the largest tech companies in the world, and I understand this is Microsoft. That should be a great conversation.
And then I think we're also going to be talking a little bit about some of the statements that we've heard from the Prime Minister and from the Information Minister about the use of social media to spread particular narratives. So we want to dive into that a little bit in the Youth for Chat segment as well.
Right. So bringing a broader perspective on how we manage ourselves in the internet online space, and that is critical. So we're going to be here until 1 p.m. So listen to the Talk Up Your Radio show here online at nationwideradiojam.com, or get the Nationwide app in our relevant app store. Of course, you can watch us on YouTube. So good morning to our YouTubers. It's good to have you with us as always, each and every Saturday. And Stephen, normally when I sit in this chair on a Saturday, I normally ask the YouTubers to tell us where is the Saturday soup being made.
So manish water,
red peas, beef soup, chicken soup, vegetable soup. Let us know where the cook shop is so that
we can turn up.
Turn up to collect, not necessarily to pay.
But that shake like they don't want to pick still in that red pea soup.
Yeah. So on a Saturday we're here, and that's what we want to big up to all of our YouTubers. So stick and stay with us. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back, I'll tell you who will be coming on. A great
outstanding 6'4" athlete credits Jamaica with her first Olympic victory ever.
Jamaica is filled with Olympians.
World record holder McKinley dashes into the lead.
We must never forget the forerunners of Jamaican Olympic greatness.
Coming into the home stretch, it's Wint who challenges the leader.
Win or lose, athletes never forget their Olympic experience.
Early Notty has devastated another world-class field. And Hemmings is going to do it. Hemmings wins it. She's the champion. A personal
Win or lose, Jamaicans will cheer the loudest at the Olympics so that the world will never forget who we are.
And Usain Bolt is moving away, and Jamaica retain their title, and the world record has been taken apart. I say.
From July 26 to August 11, tune in only to Nationwide 90 FM for the coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, because we're here to ensure that you never forget. Nationwide's coverage is powered by our bronze sponsors: National Road Operating and Constructing Company Limited, Grace Foods, Spirits Expression Sports Lounge, Imperial Optical Jamaica, Rainforest Caribbean, and Sunshine Snacks.
It's a big sale at Fontana Pharmacy from June 27th to June 30th. Get Get up to 70% off select items in-store and online. Deals on cosmetics, household, home decor, and more. Plus, buy one, get one free on select items. Visit any of our 7 locations and follow us on social media for details. Don't miss the big sale at Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
Education is the key for betterment in this modern time, Education is the key for betterment. Never you waste your time, don't you waste your time. Bless and love. This is Warrior King. It's all about talk up youth, you know. Cause the youth them are the future. Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Keep in tune, don't move the dial. Rastafari. Reggae music rocking the nation. Good vibration.
Morning again, Jamaica, and welcome back to the Talk Up Youth radio show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. And this morning we're talking all things tech and cybersecurity, and you're hearing the voice of Stephen, and beside me is
Damien Scarlett.
And we're unpacking a lot of things about social media usage, cybersecurity. We'll talk a little bit maybe about AI and all these things. So we want you to stay tuned with us as we have that discussion. But before we go any further, I want to give you the question for the day that's guiding the discussion that we have, especially as youth. How do you stay cyber safe? Now, we're joined by a talented young man who is the awardee of the University of the West Indies. He's the top matriculant scholarship to the University of the West Indies, my apologies. And he's currently studying software engineering while interning at one of the largest tech companies in the world and one of the most profitable companies at that. We are joined live by Orville Daly. Hi, Orville. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I am doing amazing. The weather in Washington is better than it was last week, and that's enough for me.
Love that. So, hi, Orville. You're no stranger to Talk Up Youth, and congratulations on your achievement in terms of where you're interning just now. That's really good, and it's good to see when young people is aligned to their passion and what they want to do in life. So I'm sure you're fitting to help to guide us through this discussion. So the first thing that we want to talk about is this whole matter of cyber safety. What is that all about, and how do you stay cyber safe as well?
Amazing question. So Microsoft themselves is actually promoting this cyber safe environment, because the first thing I had to do my week was to watch multiple videos about this is what Microsoft is about. Ensure you have privacy, safety. We are working with proprietary information, so ensure that none of it is being leaked. And then they even have personal videos telling us that ensure that we change our passwords every month. Ensure that we are not using the same passwords. Ensure these passwords are not your middle name and your birth date, because that's really bad. So I think cyber safety is one of the biggest issues that, even though you would think it's for like the older generation that's having this problem, also new generations, because I've met so many interns here who originally had it's easy to get the Instagram password, for example. But then after the little tech talks that we have, they're like, listen, it's important to change these things. It's important because you do not want your data being leaked. Even though Microsoft is this big company that have data on other people, we need to ensure that we protect our data personally as well.
Right. Your personal responsibility. Right. I want to backpedal a little bit for you to tell us a little bit about why you got into tech and software as a career choice. Let's hear about that.
Sure. So let's start at 12 years old. I tried to learn programming. Failed. Amazing. Tried again at 13. Failed. Amazing. tried again at 14 now. I did succeed with that one.
Mm-hmm.
So at 14 is when I learned my first programming language, JavaScript.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I was just making little websites and stuff. I went to Jamaica College, which is, if you don't know, it's a sports and robotics school. And they're really good at their job. So I actually joined robotics in my last 2 years of high school, that is during sixth form. I was actually having a struggle determining if I wanted to do software engineering or pursuing medical degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually did far too many capes than what a normal human should be doing. I did 7 capes because I was like, should I be programming or doing surgery? So I was having that issue throughout my entire upper school
Right.
upper school area, and I was like, okay, we have to make a decision because now I'm going to the University of the West Indies on a full ride. I should make a decision.
Mhm.
So I decided software engineering is what I'm going to get into because I probably didn't want to spend 7 years in university. But I'm glad for it because it was amazing. The reason why I got into robotics in the first place was because I won a Oxford University computing challenge in fifth form. So they were like, "Oh, you should definitely join us as lead programmer." And that's when I joined the school's robotics team, and then the national robotics team, and now I'm the coach for that national robotics team.
Well done, congrats.
All right, thank you for
Thank
that,
you.
Orville. And every time when I hear somebody talk about programming,
Mhm.
my mind goes back to if I had stuck through my original course,
Mhm.
where I would be today. Because
Listen.
I started off by studying IT, and programming was one of the things that I had to kind of struggle with
Mhm.
until I realized that where your strengths are, you work at that.
There you go.
And so I put programming aside.
Listen, when I hear programming, I think of the Matrix and the little green things running on the screen. That's where I
Trust
am.
me,
So-
But one of the things, though, Orville, as we talk about, advancement of technology, we are now what we call, or in the AI world, the artificial intelligence world. So how has that affected the struggle in cybersecurity, both negatively and positively?
Okay, so that's actually one of the tech talks that they had. Well, a similar tech talk, like the negatives and positive of AI, and they were basically talking about, so like AI now helps you to keep your information safe because it can suggest strong passwords. Um, it can tell you that, hey, this password is probably not safe because we found that this can be deciphered based on your username that you have. Uh, and those are all great things. Those are good things. It tells us you need to be prepared to have higher security. But then hackers themselves use this exact same AI to be like, okay, this is information that this person has available to us online on their Instagram that is like not private at all, it's public Instagram. And then after that, they're like, the AI can tell you like, oh, this is likely what they would have as a password. The password is probably their dog's name because their dog is in 70% of their pictures. Things like that makes it so easy. So then it's helpful. It tells us you need to be safer. But then others can use it to use it to predict what we would have done. So I think it's amazing. AI itself is amazing. All the projects it's doing, but it's very dangerous.
Well, it's interesting that you said that because even though you mentioned password, because even for us, so when we were younger, and we normally hear a person say, even in the workspace, every 3 months, you see IT send out a message
Yeah.
to ensure that you change your password.
Or you'll get locked out of stuff.
Right. So, but as we are getting older and using more of the technology, you see how important these little things have become. Because for
Definitely.
me, I wasn't thinking about changing passwords regularly.
Yeah, because my thing is never forget the password if I change it too frequently.
Right, and then looking at some of the security measures, as you said, that with AI is that they can help you to determine if your password is strong or if it's strengthened. But at the same time, you're saying that the hackers are using this same artificial intelligence to determine, okay, then what kind of security breach that they can tap into to get into our accounts. So it is important that even as we're navigating the social media space, that we understand this whole matter of data security,
Of course.
as well. It's not just about just putting out content, and I'm sure on the social media side later on we're going to talk about that. But you see that something, as much as it is good, there are negative effects that can come from that. But then at the same time, we rather should dwell more on the positive
effects
than the negative, but not to act blindly within that space. Yeah?
And I think too, one of the important things, and I figure it will come up as we have the discussion, is while we're trying to protect what information we have out there, we also have to be careful about what information we put out there, because if you don't put it there, you don't necessarily need to protect. And as the Orville is nodding, if it's not there, you don't need to protect it.
Right.
But I think, as Orville is saying, the AI as a tool is good for us, as well as if it gets out of hand or if we allow people to use it in very nefarious ways, then we can see some of the ill effects of it.
Yeah, and one of the things though, Orville, in terms of you, in terms of the cybersecurity space, coming out of software engineering, right? Do you see yourself as an advocate or one champion in this cause going forward?
Oh, 100%. I've been telling my parents that we're not going to use that password anymore. Like the password that they're using, I tell them, yeah, we're not using that anymore because you've used that before. They're like, but I won't remember the other one. I'm like, I'll remember it for you. I'll do it for you. Because like they also travel. And once you're traveling in the US, it's very important because in Jamaica, there's not many hackers. There's not like this mountain of people behind computers. But in the US, it's very important that, for example, I have a VPN. The moment I arrived in the airport, I turned on my VPN because I don't know enough about...
Break down the VPN, Orville. Break down the VPN for the listeners.
Oh, so the easiest way to think about it is when you connect to an internet, packages are sent to the router, and you can see what you are doing online. But a VPN make sure that they can't see what you're doing online.
Okay.
All right, thank
So
you.
simple as that. So I had to turn on mine because when you're in Jamaica, it's not a big issue. Like nobody's gonna be knowing how to do most of those stuff. I don't even know how to do most of those stuff. So there are people in that airport who are glad if you come off the plane, no VPN. There are people who are glad if you're connecting to the coffee
like public Wi-Fi.
Public Wi-Fi.
Yes, the public Wi-Fis. So just think about things that could allow others to see what you're doing online. The moment they see anything, that is it. Ensuring that you're not taking pictures of your credit card to send to your friend. Like that's not something you should be doing. Things like that just make it super easy. And I'm always an advocate. I'm always telling others, yeah, maybe that's not the best approach. How about we don't change only one letter in our password and say that that's just as secure.
Yeah, but I'll leave it alone.
All right, we're going to come back and pick up that point. We're going to have to take a break. Now, you're listening to the Talk Up Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. We're talking about all things cybersecurity today, and this is a great conversation that everybody needs to be a part of. So stick and stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
This outstanding 6'4" athlete credits Jamaica with her first Olympic victory ever.
Jamaica is filled with Olympians.
World record holder McKinley dashes into the lead.
We must never forget the forerunners of Jamaican Olympic greatness.
Coming into the home stretch, it's Wint who challenges the leader.
Win or lose, athletes never forget their Olympic experience.
Merely not here, devastated. Another world-class feat. And Hemmings is going to do it. Hemmings wins it. She's the champion. A personal...
Win or lose, Jamaicans will cheer the loudest at the Olympics so that the world will never forget who we are.
And Usain Bolt is moving away. And Jamaica retain their title. And the world record has been taken apart. Oh, I say.
From July 26 to August 11, tune in only to Nationwide 90 FM for the coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, because we're here to ensure that you never forget. Nationwide's coverage is powered by our bronze sponsors: National Road Operating and Constructing Company Limited, Grace Foods, Spirits Expression Sports Lounge, Imperial Optical Jamaica, Rainforest Caribbean, and Sunshine Snacks.
Attention all data protection enthusiasts. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM every Tuesday at 8:20 a.m. and Thursday at 8:25 a.m. for a new program, Data Protection Matters. Starting June 4, 2024, join us as we delve into crucial topics that will keep you informed and compliant. Data Protection Matters is hosted by Chuck Cameron, founder of Design Privacy, your trusted partner in data protection. Don't miss out. That's every Tuesday morning at 8:20 and every Thursday at 8:25 a.m. Stay protected, stay informed with Nationwide 90 FM and Design Privacy.
Yeah, we put Jah first and second and third. Watch your blessings come forth, blessings come forth. Yo, it is a miracle for make your thing shot and not end up a gun court, end up a gun court. Growing up on the banks of the Hope. Never give up and we never lose hope. And we never sell out and never sell dope. No ironically, everything what we said it says dope. Listen, it never break with spirit growing up, bro. Roll out, spending like carbolic soap. Yes, I regular be run boat just to stay afloat. And be run joke just to cope. Yeah, I know social mobility, limited scope. But mama make we know so time.
Welcome back to the Talk Up Youth Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. And as we've been having this conversation this morning, we've been saying that we're talking about all things cybersecurity, cyber safety. And we've been talking with Orville Daly, and we're extending the conversation a little bit. We're adding another person into the conversation. We're adding Shannon Dale Reed, who is a media professional with 17 plus years of experience and has made a lasting impact in the industry. He has successfully established and led new media departments for 3 prominent media houses and managed high-profile digital accounts for several top corporate brands. As a corporate specialist, he has delivered innovative solutions for various digital and marketing companies. So, Shannon, how are you doing?
Not bad at all.
All right. So, we're talking about cybersecurity, and Orville was telling us about the importance of changing your password frequently. And we left for the break at the point where he was saying it might not be the best decision to just change one thing in the password.
One letter.
One letter, right. So, talk to us again about that, Orville, please.
So I was basically saying that what you need to do is always think about what you've had before. It can definitely be something that you can remember, because it's not the hard to create a password you can remember. It's just that it can't be a publicly available, easy to get password. It cannot be your dog's name. It can't be your middle name. Maybe it is like your grandmother's mother maiden name. Like maybe that's something that could be useful.
Right.
But you can't be thinking about, I'm just gonna
study the family tree.
Slap the shop. Exactly.
All right, get you.
All right, so welcome Shannon. And Shannon, based on the work that you do in terms of managing accounts for several brands, companies, how do you manage the data security side of that? Because that is critical,
Well, we have where I work, we have a data scientist.
Okay.
So that person controls that data. Nonetheless, as it relates to the password part of it, though, we do not change the password as often. We do not change the password at all. Because of the complexity of the password itself.
Okay.
It's impossible for anybody to find that. Not saying that it can't never happen, but it based on how complex it is,
so
I don't even remember it.
So it's almost like how you use an iPhone and it recommends the strong password feature for you.
Yes.
It's one of those little alphanumeric.
Yes, and it's developed by our data scientists. So that's how it's done.
So then, let me ask you, throwing it back to you, Orville. So in this whole world of AI and all the things that AI can do, when we have something like a phone or a tablet, whatever device it is, recommending a password for you, yes, good, strong password. But doesn't that carry some kind of challenge with it as well? Because in the same breath that the device is recommending the password, can it not be used to predict what people's passwords are or things like that?
Okay, great question. I will first preface by saying I am not a cybersecurity expert. I am a software engineer.
Fair.
However, I know that the process they use to generate these passwords are considered pseudo-random, so they should not be cracked easily.
Okay.
That's the point of them. Um, and I also use suggest password, but I actually memorize the password that they give me.
Wait, hold on. You
So
memorize the suggested password?
yes, because I would have it on a sticky note for about 3 days, and then eventually I'm going to take those sticky notes. So I memorize my Microsoft password, for example, which is
Don't tell us.
at least 12 letters slash numbers put together and special symbols. So it's important to memorize it regardless. I definitely agree with that. Oh, if you use suggested password, it probably won't be hacked. But I would still recommend after using suggested passwords, change it every 3 months, change it every 2 months. I think that's still something that should be happening.
Okay. And then there's like apps or features on certain phones, like I think it's called Keychain on, we won't call the brand, but that stores passwords and stuff like that for people. How do you recommend that in terms of safety? And again, knowing
I
that you're
use
not
that.
cybersecurity, but just as someone in the
I
field.
use that all the time. Our company physically has pass keys, and so I have it on my phone. So my phone is it's very important I keep my phone safe, meaning that a lot of things I have mobile back two-factor authentication. So I need my phone to log in regardless. So it's important to keep my phone safe. If my phone is lost, I probably need to get on my computer and start changing things immediately because my phone is very important. So that's my thoughts on that.
Got you.
Yeah, I love the fact how you brought up the two-step verification because I was about to make reference to that because sometimes we can feel as if that, well, why do I need to add an extra layer of security? That's more work, But then at the same time, if you're thinking about protecting all that you have, then whatever is at our disposal, we should make use of that. So the two-step verification is something that some persons can take into consideration. But one of the things from the conversation as we look at cybersecurity is that we oftentimes even hear through the JCF the number of cyber crimes that are there as well. So the conversation is not just how you manage your personal space and setting your passwords, but is what you are exposed to when you're online as well. Thinking about and you mentioned earlier on, Orville, that not to take a picture of your credit card and send to somebody, and because those things are sensitive. And a lot of us shop online and all of those things too. And I think Shannon want to come in here. Yeah, I see him shaking his head like him on my point.
No. I'm just in agreement with it because that's something that we all do. We all fall to it. Like I send a lot of emails with my information because of what I do.
Right.
But it's something. It should not be a practice, but it is a practice. So it is something that we really should look at as quote unquote, stepping into this digital world.
Right, and as I said, with the number of cybercrimes that are there, is that people fall into that kind of trap. Somebody come and talk to you online, and we're going to get into that part of the conversation. But how do you really know who you're speaking to in the online space?
You never really do.
You never really do. But I guess you need to use wisdom and your judgment just to ensure that you follow through, that you don't fall prey into these kind of cyber crimes.
And then, on the point of cybercrimes, especially when it's related to banking stuff, banks always send out that little memo. Sometimes there's a particular bank that will send you 6 of them in one day, but they will send you these memos and they tell you that, never give out your PIN and be careful when you're using the point of sale. You cover the keypad and that kind of a thing. So if it is that you are transacting business online, follow the guidance that the financial institution gives you. If you're at work, if you're at school, and whatever IT departments are giving guidance on how to protect whatever it is that you're doing, the guidance is there, so make use of it.
Right. And for you, Orville, before we let you go, for someone pursuing career in tech or software development, especially, what are your recommendations to them?
Determine if you actually want to be a part of STEM. do you actually like math? If you don't like math, there are still spaces for you in STEM. You can be designers, right? Clarifying
Everybody got nervous in here a while ago.
When I said mathematics,
brain shut down.
So for me, I do love math, so I definitely wanted to go into the robotics side, the programming side of that part. But if you don't like it, there are other spaces for you. It's if you have a passion for anything at all in that sphere, and you should continue doing that. Don't feel like you need to compare yourself to others now. Create your resume, do your projects, talk to people of importance, get links, do all that kind of stuff, because I think that's the most important part of getting into STEM, especially considering the fact that it's getting so saturated.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much, Orville, for speaking with us. You really shed some light on this whole matter of cybersecurity, and all the best to you as you continue to intern where you are. Make the best of it, and we're looking forward to see some new software coming out. And he's about to make a plug at this time. Go ahead quickly.
Okay, great. At least you know exactly what I'm going to do. I want to shout out some people first. Shout out to the family. Big up the friends, and then finally, and very importantly, big up Shanique Thomas from the Blue Mountain Project, who made interning at Microsoft possible for Jamaicans at UTech and UWI. That's
I love that. Great. Well, that was a great plug. we take that one. Well, all the best to you, Orville, and we look for great things on the international scene from you as a young Jamaican. All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. All
Bye.
the best. All right. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the social media side of things, and we're going to have that conversation with Shannon. This is the Talk Up Youth Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. Talk Up Youth, Mr. F.
Talk Up Youth.
We'll be back.
And enough man hold it out, cause them couldn't hold it out. And enough man sold it out, cause them couldn't go without. And in pursuit of riches, enough man take the girly road. But that a fit them thing, that is not what my story about this outfit.
On July 3 and 4, Privacy and Legal Management Consultants Limited will show you how to take control of your data with top-notch privatization solutions offered at their Prioritizing Privacy Conference. This conference is dedicated to informing the public about the latest innovations and best practices in data privacy. Cliff Hughes Online will broadcast live from the conference on July 3 and 4 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tune in for insightful discussions with speakers from Trinidad, Barbados, the United Kingdom, and Jamaica, and explore the future of data protection. You don't want to miss this. That's a live broadcast of the Prioritizing Privacy Conference on July 3 and 4 during Cliff Hughes Online, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Privacy and Legal Management Consultants.
Power in great moments. If you have financial needs, Chris and Charles will fix them for you. Power in great moments since 1992. Oh, we have it all. Power in great moments. Relax, you got Chris and Charles. Oh, we have it all. When you think alone, think Chris and Charles.
Nationwide 90 FM is at it again. Team Revolution will clear every hurdle and sprint to the finish line as we cover the games of the 33rd Olympiad from Paris, the city of love.
Winning by daylight and setting a world record, 9.68. The wind is okay.
Nationwide's coverage is powered by our diamond sponsor, KFC. It's finger-licking good across all locations island-wide.
This is Nikisha Barnes representing for Talk Up Radio, a Talk Up Youth production held every Saturday 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Talk Up Youth, Mr. for Talk Up Youth.
My rise like the sunrise, my bright and my upright. No one can break my vibes. I may not care who I fight, I know I criticize. I'm on the higher heights. So you can say what you want to and do what you want to. It's no concern to me. Because I have my own vision, me dep on my own mission to rule my destiny. Oh, it's my day to do anything I want to. It's my time, and I'll use it any way I want to. It's my life, and I'm responsible for every action. It's all mine, my day, my time, my life. I beg you, easy now, give me some reason now, and don't invade my space. I'm in a different place, different phase, moving on my way. So if you feel like a champion, then nothing can go wrong. This one is your song. Hey, put away your troubles, put away your worries, help me sing along. Oh, it's my
Welcome back to the Talk Up Eat Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. It is your day to do anything that you want to do, but one thing that I need you to do today is to pay close attention to this conversation on cybersecurity and managing the social media space. We have with us in this segment Shannon Dale Reed, media professional with 17 years experience. Wow. 17 years. I'm looking at him in the studio right now. 17 years experience. Still young.
Start when he was 1 year old.
1 year old. All right. I see that. So he is the marketing and communication manager for one of the Caribbean's largest advertising and marketing agencies. And just before the break, we were having a little chit chat, and we were just talking about his dream and his desire to transition to managing, social media marketing for corporate, and that must be a big thing. So Shannon, let's talk about, how do you feel in that moment? No, 17 years doing what you have been doing, but now this grand opportunity has come up for you, and I know the other opportunities would have come up during the time, but those who are listening, how important is it to kind of stick to what you love?
So it's very, very important.
Yeah.
But you have to understand what your passion is first, right? Understanding passion and also understanding the process that will take you to achieving that. It's going to be a rocky road. Whilst you even have it, it's still going to be a rocky road. It's going to be like the Jamaican road you drive on. I drop in some pothole, I just saw it go. But you have to now realize, all right, cool, how do I pick myself up and dust myself off? Because the truth is, I've dropped in several potholes, right? But I mean, when I look bruised, when I look damaged, when I look wet, you know what I mean? And that's simply because you understand what your goal is and you continue to thrive for it.
Right. Yeah. You go.
All right, so I'm sure. Yeah. So, in terms of your role as a social media manager over the years, how do you go about regulating information that is displayed? So, on one side, there is the posting the content for all to see, but then on the other side, there's another side that people don't really consider. So, in your experience, how do you go about dealing with that?
So, ideation is, well, for me. Other people might tell you otherwise, but the ideation relating to social media is the most important part of it. What I mean by ideation, it is understanding the content, it is knowing why you're posting this content, it is to also understand the brand. Is it in alignment with that brand? Is it in alignment with what they're trying to achieve? Several times, brands will change whatever their aim is. And now you have to say, how do I, make this, make it connect? Because at the end of the day, how you present it in that of a PR document is not how it should be presented on social media.
True.
There are certain jargons that you'll have to use for that of Facebook, for Instagram, for Twitter, for TikTok. How do you do it so that it doesn't affect the brand is very important.
And then I imagine because different audiences are on different platforms, you have to kind of tailor what you do on Facebook, which may be for an older generation, as opposed to TikTok, which is Gen Z kind of thing.
Correct. And the problem is a lot of corporate companies tend to churn out a more sales pitch opposed to understanding that it's building a community.
Yes.
And building the community is more important than
whatever you're trying to sell.
Because if you have that community, it will sell.
They'll build it and they will come.
Right.
I love how you put that, because I think for anybody who is getting into social media marketing would have to also understand that. And sometimes studying the analytics is very necessary. Maybe you are not the one that will study it. As you said, like the data scientists and those persons, they
Well, the truth is,
Yeah.
as a social media manager,
Yeah.
as a digital manager, as a digital coordinator, whatever word it is,
Title.
title you use, at the end of the day, you also have to learn and understand the data. So whilst you might not pull the data, which it would be ideal for you to pull the data because it helps you,
Right.
it would be it's still very important for you to study that data so that you know how to post, what to post, when to post, and also for you to know how do you then advise your client. Because the truth is, as somebody managing the social aspect of any company, you are really the quote-unquote CEO because everything as it relates to the information comes through you. Sales come through you. The marketing comes through you. So you have to now understand the full aspect of the company for you to be able to execute effectively.
It makes sense when you say it like that. Like, you know when you have those moments where you don't think about something, but then when somebody explains it to you, it just makes sense? That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and there's another question I want to ask you, but before we get to that one, specifically about the whole matter of false information, how do you help those prospective clients to see the gap then, as you've just pointed out? Because in their mind, they have a concept, and this is what they want out there.
True.
Right? They're not thinking about the other side of whether they're Gen Z or not. They just want this out on social media. How do you help them to understand?
So I can give you a prime example. I currently have a client which is the most difficult client I've ever had in my life, and that's the truth, right? And it's so strange. This client is very prominent here in Jamaica. Nonetheless, since I took over the portfolio as marketing and communications manager for this particular company, the client has been they've been difficult, but how I've done it is I've tried to see how best we can meet them halfway. So you've told me that you want it to be red. No problem. I know red don't make no sense, but I'm going to give you the red. But whilst I'm giving you the red, I'm also going to give you the blue because the blue makes more sense. It's more calm. It welcomes, and that's how I do it.
So
And
they've
never said no to the blue, even though they want the red.
Okay.
So it's to present it to them. Okay, this is exactly what you want. I'm giving you this for you to realize it makes absolutely no sense. Because I know it makes no sense, but that's what you want.
So sometimes you just have to allow people to see things for themselves.
That is it. And you never ever fight with your client. You never ever fight. Nope. So if Nationwide says, I want XYZ, Nationwide wants XYZ. You know it's wrong. But guess what? That's what Nationwide wants.
I mean, so long as it doesn't...
so they will realize, because you're still giving them that. So Nationwide wants THE, but you know it should be...
TEH?
TEH? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You give them both
and let them
for them
see.
to realize.
And to
okay,
decide.
great. What you were saying makes sense. Let's go with this. Yeah.
Right. So before we're coming up to the news break for midday news, but I don't know if I should call it the elephant question in the room.
Go for it.
In
Go for
terms
it.
of dealing with false information. Now, how dangerous is the actual spreading of the false information? So we're moving out of the social media managing company side to how we deal with information that we put online, because now over the last week or so that has been the conversation in Jamaica.
It has been the conversation.
Has been, but yeah,
it's a long lasting conversation. The reality of it is we as people have a responsibility.
Right.
So even though there's no guide or rules or regulations surrounding social media, you as a person have your own morals and beliefs. So whatever your morals and beliefs are should be in alignment with what the Constitution supports. So what do I mean by that? If I know that saying somebody... Okay, let's not do that. But let's say I'm going to say something about a particular company. I know it's not true. I have to know, or I do not know it's true. What I would have to do is, one, do my research. Is this really factual? I can even pull something that happened recently over the week with Popcorn, allegedly Popcorn, and DJ Mac. So there was some rumor happening
about some altercation,
and somebody went ahead and reported it on TikTok without finding that this was not so. So both of them were at the particular place, but no altercation took place. Nobody knew that, but they saw a crowd and they assumed it was an altercation. They reported this. What is ideal is for you to always go to the source to see how best you can find out this information. So fact checking is what's important.
And that brings us to the fact that everybody wants to do what is called this whole community reporting.
Yeah, everybody wants to be a reporter.
Everybody wants to be a reporter.
Everybody wants to break the news.
Right, break the news first, right, without having the requisite knowledge and the skill set in order to do so. But we're going to pick up on that conversation when we come back from the midday news.
Which is all facts.
Which is all facts, right? You know, we're right here at Nationwide. So
all facts.
We have to get it right. We have to get it right. This is the Talk Up You radio show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. Stick and stay with us because when we come back, you want to hear this side of the conversation. All right?
Prisoner, and don't invade my space. I'm in a different place, different face, moving on my way. So if you feel like a champion, then nothing can go wrong. This one is your song. Hey, put away your troubles, put away your worries. Help me sing along. Oh, it's my day to do anything I want to. It's my time, and I'll use it any way I want to. It's my life, and I'm responsible for every action. It's all mine, my day, my time, my life. Out there, so, I'm feeling alive, feeling a vibe, and nothing can stop me. I don't care what they think or what they say about me. Look out, world, here we come, up and running. And all I'm saying is, it's my day to do anything I want to. It's my time, and I'll use it any way I want to. It's my life, and I'm responsible for every action. It's all mine, my day, my time, my life.
Talk Up Youth and talk the truth. I ask the Bush that representing for Talk Up Youths, here and nationwide, 90 FM, every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bush!
Listen to Nationwide 90 FM on 90.1
90.3
90.7
90.9
or visit our flow channel on a 916. To our valued listeners, for questions, comments, or concerns about our programs, email us at programs@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
12 noon.
It's credible and factual. The World at Noon on Nationwide 90 FM.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Cannon. Coming up in the World at Noon for this Saturday, June 29, 2024, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the National Security Council has recommended that the government implement legislation to tackle cyber threats in Jamaica. Transport Minister Darrell Vaugh says the Jamaica Urban Transit Company will use just over 20 buses to service hilly routes in the Kingston Metropolitan Transport Region, KMTR. Woman has been charged with defrauding some 25 customers at a financial institution in the corporate area of more than $2 million. In news from the region, Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali on Friday met with representatives from the Carter Center who are in the country on a pre-election assessment mission ahead of the 2025 elections. While on the international scene, a reformist candidate won the most votes in the first round of Iran's presidential election and will face a conservative hardliner in a runoff next week. While in sports, Kishane Thompson became the joint 9th fastest man in history after winning the 100 meters last night at the national trials. The details after this. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the National Security Council NSC has recommended that the government implement legislation to tackle cyber threats in Jamaica. He made the revelation on Friday following the NSC's latest meeting on Thursday. Mr. Holness says the country has witnessed different types of cyber threats that the NSC believes legislation could resolve.
The threats range from public mischief, reputational damage, harassment and bullying, extortion, to attacks on our banking and financial systems and state entities. I underscored to the National Security Council the importance of striking a balance between protecting freedom of expression and ensuring the responsible and ethical use of technology. The National Security Council concluded that legislation is needed to create a safe online space where the freedoms and rights of all Jamaicans can be respected and the integrity of information and transactions is secured.
The Prime Minister says the dangers of technology must be averted despite the benefit advances it has. Sorry, I read that for you again. The Prime Minister says the dangers of technology must be averted despite the benefits advances in it have provided.
The Council also discussed the legislative gaps relating to cybercrimes and the misuse of social media platforms, which has created new threats and challenges to the safety and security of citizens and the state. While we acknowledge the positive and powerful transformational impact of cyber, artificial intelligence and social media on our economy and society, the National Security Council was equally seized of the potential for misuse of the technology by intentional malicious actors as well as inadvertently by misguided users. There has been, in fact, an alarming increase in cyber threats targeting critical infrastructure, businesses and individuals.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness had positive words for St. Catherine North Police Division for combating gangs in Spanish Town.
I was pleased to receive a report from the security chiefs on the progress being made on the government's plans to retake urban spaces from criminal elements. I commended the security forces for the significant efforts that they have made in reducing murders and dismantling gangs in our old capital of Spanish Town. The St. Catherine North Police Division has experienced reductions in murders and overall crime by 12.5% and 11% respectively for the period 1st of January 2024 to the 26th of June 2024 compared to the same period last year.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Transport Minister Dal Vaz says the Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC will use just over 20 buses to service hilly routes in the Kingston Metropolitan Transport Region, KMTR.
Those 24 buses are specific buses to deal with the hill routes. And the hill routes are Stony Hill going up into the border, Temple Hall, and of course Papine going up into Irish Town, Mavis Bank, Garden Town, those areas. Those areas require a specific type of bus because of the road network. So they have to use smaller buses to be able to think. So it's not just about the big CNG buses that you see going from Papine to Halfway Tree and from Spanish Town. It's also to deal with the hill routes where the kids come down in the morning with the parents to work and go back up in the evening.
Minister Vaz says the JUTC is working to have the buses in place for the start of the new school year in September.
Right now, we are at almost rock bottom. I think we may have 3 or 4 of them that are in proper use. So getting 8 more for back to school and 16 by the end of the year will be a huge, huge impact for those areas. And I see it when I drive. Waiting time sometimes up to 2 hours. And there's no other bus you can improvise and put on those routes because of the terrain. And they have to be specially manufactured as well for suspension, etc. So for those rural folks, they are especially East Rural St. Andrew, West Rural St. Andrew. Those constituencies that have those areas can look forward to some reprieve within another few weeks.
Dal Vaz, Transport Minister. Road fatalities have reached the 200 mark. The information was posted by the National Road Safety Council with Vice Chairman of the NRSC, Dr. Lucian Jones, declaring that the chilling statistic was reached ominously before the end of half of the year. According to Dr. Jones, it will be difficult to prevent over 400 dying unless funds are released to carry out sustained public education campaign in concert with the use of cameras to detect speeding infractions and send tickets to offenders. A woman has been charged with defrauding some 25 customers at a financial institution in the corporate area of more than $2 million. She has been identified as 35-year-old Diane Thompson of Annandale Close in Pembroke Hall, Kingston. Thompson, who is a marketing officer, was charged after her multi-million-dollar fraud scheme was uncovered by detectives attached to the fraud squad. The scheme is said to have taken place between January 1 and June 20 this year. It's reported that Thompson swindled a sum of $2,603,000 Jamaican dollars from 25 customers' accounts and transferred it to an account she had control of. A report was made to the police following the discovery of the fraud, and an investigation was launched. Thompson was subsequently taken into custody. She was charged with access with intent to commit an offense, unauthorized access to computer data, simple larceny, and engaging in transaction involving criminal property. She's scheduled to appear in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on August 5. Labour Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says the government continues to explore measures to bring additional support to Jamaicans who are facing challenging times. Minister Clark gave the assurance as he addressed a meeting of the JLP's Area Council 1 in West Kingston earlier this week.
Let me tell you something. We increase minimum wage. We increase pension for the old people them. And we even looking out for those people who have not contributed to NIS to get a pension, but are still in need of support. And we have created something called social pension. And the social pension is providing support for any Jamaican over 75 years old who don't get support anywhere else. This is a government who cares.
Minister Charles says the government is deliberate about assisting those Jamaicans who are faced with daily cost of living challenges.
I remember when everybody else in the Caribbean was growing, and we have to wonder, is what do we? In the 1990s, we had the highest unemployment, more than 16%. And under the Jamaica Labour Party, after we just come out of a pandemic, hardest time ever, we have the lowest unemployment ever. You're talking about a government that came in 2016 when the minimum wage was just a little bit over 6,000. And under Andrew Holness, right now, in the last 2 years, the minimum wage moved twice and reached $15,000. This is the kind of government that is looking out for the people.
Pernell Charles Jr., Minister of Labour and Social Security. To news now in the region, President Dr. Irfan Ali on Friday met with representatives from the Carter Center who are in Guyana on a pre-election assessment mission ahead of the 2025 regional and general elections. During the meeting at State House, President Ali reiterated his government's commitment to the democratic process, the rule of law, and the will of the people. He underscored his government's dedication to transparency and accountability and thanked the Center for its continued cooperation in promoting free and fair elections. On the international scene, a reformist candidate won the most votes in the first round of Iran's presidential election and will face a conservative hardliner in a runoff next week. None of the four candidates secured more than 50% of the vote in Friday's election, prompting a second round on July 5. The election saw the lowest voter turnout for a presidential election since the Islamic Republic was established in 1979. And now to sports. Kishane Thompson became the joint 9th fastest man in history after running the 100 meters in 9.77 seconds to win the men's 100 meters at the Jamaica Olympic Trials on Friday. The 22-year-old, who had not raced at all this season before the trials, is in his second season as a professional. But his time of 9.7 seconds means he is now the 4th fastest Jamaican in history, behind Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, and Asafa Powell. My coach instructed me to just run the first 60 meters, nothing more after that, shut it down, said Thompson. If I came second or third, I would have made the team. The goal wasn't to prove anything tonight, just to run the 70 or 60 meters and see where I was. In the women's 100 meters, Sharika Jackson recovered from a bad start to win in 10.84 seconds ahead of rivals Tia Clayton and two-time Olympic champions Shelley and Fraser Price, who ran 10.84 seconds and 10.94 seconds, respectively. And now to recap the top stories making the world at noon. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the National Security Council, NSC, has recommended that the government implement legislation to tackle cyber threats in Jamaica. Transport Minister Dal Vaz says the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, will use just over 20 buses to service hilly routes in the Kingston Metropolitan Region, KMTR. Woman has been charged with defrauding some 25 customers at a financial institution in the corporate area of more than $2 million. I'm Andrew Cannon. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at 5 o'clock. However, stay tuned as we go back to Talk Up Youth.
Stop buying expensive toner cartridges. Global Ink is now selling new factory direct generic toners. Remove factory seals, install and print. Engineered to work first time, every time. Certified for use in HP and Brother printers. Worry-free, affordable printing for your peace of mind. Money saved is money earned. We deliver island-wide. 754-7444 or 1-888-NEED-INK. Never run out of toner again. Global Ink.
It's a big sale at Fontana Pharmacy from June 27th to June 30th. Get up to 70% off select items in-store and online. Deals on cosmetics, household, home decor, and more. Plus, buy one, get one free on select items. Visit any of our 7 locations and follow us on social media for details. Don't miss the big sale at Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
Nationwide 90 FM is at it again. Team Revolution will clear every hurdle and sprint to the finish line as we cover the games of the 33rd Olympiad from Paris, the city of love.
3 meters clear, 5 meters clear, and away he goes. He continues on his way towards another gold medal. 5 gold medals, 5 world records.
Nationwide's coverage is powered by our diamond sponsor, Fosrich, fostering rich customer service across all locations island-wide.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Alan Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we are all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, yeah, yeah. You don't know, sir, praying Christ represent for Talk Up Youth. This and every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
Oh, Selassie, protect I and I. Your love surround me. Pagan can't go round me. Love surround me. In a water they want to drown me. Love surround me. Pagan can't go round me. Love surround me. In a water they want to drown me, yeah.
some golden, a talent and not stolen. She say
Welcome back to the Talk Up Your Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. And we're spreading a lot of love around today. We're spreading love on this conversation because we're talking about the importance of cybersecurity and safety. It's important that you understand how to manage yourself in the online space, whether it's for your personal development, recreation, or if it is that you're a person that you shop online regularly, you do online banking, you need to know the things that you need to do to stay safe. So that was the conversation, Stephen, the first part of our show. And then we continued by talking about now dealing with the management of information that we put out on social media. Right. We're still with Shannon Dale Reed. And just before the midday news, we were talking about that in terms of how do you manage information and false information that is out there online. Right, and then we noticed that in the media this week, and this is now the official media, right? Factual one, news media houses and print media, we see where the Honorable Prime Minister would have been making reference to the information that we put out there. I mean, touch on cyber security as well, but in terms of social media. So we want to just get that clip from the PM ready, and then we're going to have our feedback on that. So let's go with the Prime Minister's response.
The fact a young person made a post on social media that bordered on being defamatory, probably libelous. The person was tracked and their identity discovered. Long and short, the person was put up to doing this by another political organization. And we have been tracking several such cases where you see some posts being made that border on defamatory or libelous. And when you dig behind, which we have the capabilities to do, and to discover the people behind these accounts, there are young persons being recruited to do this. It is purely out of good conscience that many of them we don't pursue, because they are young people, they are being misled, they are being used for the wrong purpose. Because they are native to social media, they are being used to manipulate social media, to comment on posts negatively, to spread rumors about people, to do some really nasty things. And you're going to see some actions very shortly for those persons. Much of what is being done is, in fact, against the law. I want to say to you, the people who have chosen to be a part of the Jamaica Labour Party, the Jamaica Labour Party.
So that's the Prime Minister speaking there. Let me start with Shannon.
All right, so the Prime Minister's utterances are indeed valid. There's no question about it. We do have some persons who tend to be unscrupulous, and they tend to say things that really and truly is wayward. You know, it's not even close to the reality. Nonetheless, you can't get rid of that. It's going to happen. The matter of regulating, there are laws which are more relating to that of broadcasting. Now, I'm not sure exactly how the Prime Minister would regulate it, if it will be a new regulation, because the broadcasting laws does not necessarily speak to social media at all. But it speaks to the dissemination of information. It speaks to how it is that you grade what is broadcasted. So understanding what is a broadcast versus what is being posted is different. So I'm not sure how he would regulate that in and of itself. But I do think it is something that we should.
It's a conversation to expound on, because we kind of need to know the thinking of the Prime Minister and the government.
And also, if it is politically motivated, that's a vital point to look at, because is it that you're going to regulate it only to scrutinize political opinions and views?
But then that flies in the face
then
of
that becomes
democracy.
a problem. Yeah,
Because
now you understand. Right?
Which is what the other part of the conversation, which we've been seeing persons commenting, in sharing their views in responding to what the PM has said, that the matter of freedom of speech comes into play here, because it's not a case where, as he said, where he can regulate what is posted. Right, but as in terms of the broadcasting or dissemination of information, there are laws that governs that, and the truth is, the average Jamaican user who is on his or her phone, not thinking about the law, so to speak, they're just responding and acting in the whether if it's the spur of the moment or the fact that they have this at their disposal.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we could maybe do what Australia has done, which is they have now charged the quote-unquote social media giants, companies, as it relates to information posted. So if they're not willing to regulate those information, whatever that information is, and if it's against their laws, then they're charged.
But then
we could do that, but then if we do that, we have to now think of what comes with that.
Exactly. There's a kind of overreach that we
might not have any more
into.
Facebook. We might not have any more Twitter. So the access for those stuff would be limited.
But then my curiosity is with the origin of where this commentary is coming from, because is it politically motivated, as the question was asked? Because if it is that we're trying to label, and I'm not saying that this is what the Honourable Prime Minister is doing, but if it is that persons are going to label dissent about political decisions as fake news, then try to censor that, we have to be very careful about how we have that discussion, because then a fundamental part of democracy is the freedom to express your disagreement with what your government is doing. And so if it is that I'm dissatisfied with the government, and then that now gets looped into all of this fake news and misinformation and disinformation narrative, then we start having a problem, which is what a lot of people are responding to, which is what the knee-jerk reaction to what the Prime Minister said has been online.
You know, I have a very contradictory viewpoint. So I agree with the Prime Minister. We should have some form of regulation. But at the same time, I believe that, one, people should take responsibility with what they post.
Absolutely.
So I don't agree with something. Of course, I can express that I don't agree. And I can express in the most upset way I can, without being disrespectful, without, quote-unquote, bringing down somebody's image or office. I can do that. But at the same time, I strongly believe if you put yourself up for public office, if you put yourself up for any major office, you're
must
expect
open to scrutiny.
You can't do anything about that. It's going to happen. There will be people who love you. There are going to be people who don't like you. There are going to be people who hate you.
And that's a part of the job. It's what you signed up for. But then even on the point of disrespect, I cannot accept it as you've said it, because then who gets to define what disrespect is? Suppose me tell him and say, it's an ugly shirt him have on, and he feels disrespected by that.
Now you understand. Which is the problem that America is having.
We can't regulate it.
America is having that problem. You can't tell somebody that they are, because this is what they think.
Right.
So that's a challenge.
So here's one. Fake news is no new matter. It's always said that news networks will stretch the truth in order to gain views or ratings on their channel. Well, I see some examples from major news entities here, but let me just leave that out. So why is it that large news platforms are not being held accountable?
But who is saying they're not?
All right, so I'm not sure.
Well, I'm just looking at what was being given to us here in terms of balancing regulation and free speech. So is it that they're not being held accountable?
Remember that media houses are supposed to instill this opportunity of people to think.
Okay.
So providing thought-provoking conversations is a part of what media houses are to do.
Right.
Now, is it that they're stretching the truth? No, because they don't have a position. As a journalist, you should never have a position.
You should not have a position.
At all. Right? Your job is to provide the facts, but also provide the alternatives.
Okay.
Which means it's allowing people now to think outside the box. Is it that, okay, the Prime Minister says the color is green, but should it only be green? Yeah, he says it's green, but should it only be green? Should it be also black and yellow? So you have to think about it from that perspective. The media houses provide information. They do not have a position on the matter.
Not have a position.
Well, you see, I'm a part of the media fraternity,
Right.
and I know
clarity is
Have
important.
a position.
Clarity is important. Let it not be said at the end of the segment, you know.
Okay, but while I'm playing devil's advocate,
Right.
there in the same way there are clips.
However, just pointing that there are differences in terms of those who do podcasting. There are differences from persons who do vlogging. They're
Yes.
not necessarily a part
I
of
love
the
where you went
traditional
with it.
media. There's a difference.
All right, so
But
we're going down the same
traditional
road.
media, no position as a journalist should be taken.
And those persons are governed by regulations.
Yes, by the
which
Broadcasting
Commission. Yes.
So we've heard this issue of fake news, and especially because it comes online from Twitter and all of that kind of a thing. There are two clips that I can call to mind of two members of a particular party who will remain nameless, where they are on multiple platforms, one on a political platform and the other on his feet in Gordon House, bigging up, not potential, what's the word I'm looking for? Bloggers or persons who are spreading a particular narrative online. But then some of these pages are some of the same pages that when you scrutinize what they put out there, it's the same kind of thing that we're talking about as false narratives and fake news. So how then do we bridge the gap if it is starting, if we have political representatives who are lauding these people and the same political representatives, or political representatives being on the same level rather, who are saying this cannot be, this shouldn't happen?
All right, so have you ever thought about when you're mixing your tea? Right? And this is how I'm going with it. So you're mixing your tea. You know, say you use 2 spoons of sugar. But somebody mixes it, they might not use any. Somebody else mixes it, they might just use 1, they might use 3. So it becomes a bother to you. But when you do it, you are.
Way.
I hope you understand what I'm saying. At the end of the day, if it's speaking good for me, I'm going to use it for my benefit. And you can't knock that as a politician, as a marketer. You're going to do that.
But as a citizen,
because it worked for you. Right? True. But what I'm saying is put on their shoe. You'd realize it works for them for that time. But
And
there comes a
that's where I have
time
the
when
challenge.
it does not work for them.
That is where I have the challenge.
And you can't knock it. You know,
I absolutely can, but let me not get too carried away.
Well, before we go, there's one more clip from the Honorable Dr. Dana Dixon, the Minister of Information. Let's hear her response in recent comments.
Begin, I always start with a few things that are noteworthy, and I think the first one is to speak to issues related to misinformation and disinformation. There's a lot of talk about this area, and I think it's important that we clarify. The administration has always been and will always be deeply committed to protecting democracy in Jamaica. And we are deeply committed to protecting democracy from any threats that there are. And governments around the world are dealing with this issue of misinformation and disinformation, especially on social media. And we've seen it. We know what happens. Anyone can say anything, and it is amplified around the country and around the world. And it is important that as we protect the rights of our people and protect the right to freedom of expression and speech, that at the same time it is grounded in truth. And so we love the robust debate. And I say it all the time. It is important in a democracy that we can have dissent, and that we can say, you're not doing good as a government, we don't like what you're doing, or you need to do this better. That's what a democracy is. And that's fine, and that's what we want to encourage, but not encouraging persons to post blatant lies online that then fuel a lot of this issue of disinformation and misinformation. And so it's very important that we understand that what the government is saying is that what is posted on social media needs to be based in truth. And in that vein, what we have said is that where there are issues or instances where we know individuals have posted things that are not true, that we will have to go after those individuals in terms of prosecuting them. And there are laws that are available. And I think the goal of everything that we are doing is ensuring that we are in an environment that is based on truth. That is what it is about. And so there is no tracking of people. There is no curtailing of people saying anything that is negative. That is absolutely not the case.
All right. Speaking there just now, the Minister of Information, Dr. Dana Dixon. I see Stephen and Shannon are ready to respond.
And allow Shannon to go first.
But before we do that, we're going to have to just take this break, and when we come back, we will just share the thoughts that are bubbling in our minds. This is a Talk Up Youth radio show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. We'll be right back after this Talk Up Youth, Miss Effie. Talk Up Youth.
It's a big sale at Fontana Pharmacy from June 27th to June 30th. Get up to 70% off select items in-store and online. Deals on cosmetics, household, home decor, and more. Plus, buy one, get one free on select items. Visit any of our 7 locations and follow us on social media for details. Don't miss the big sale at Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
This is Wayne Walker from Nationwide 90 FM, and I'll be reporting live from the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Nationwide 90 FM understands that this could be the best Olympic Games ever. Never miss a single moment, update, commentary, or analysis from the 2024 Paris Olympic Games when you tune into Nationwide 90 FM.
Ronnie James is coming at Hudson Smith, but watch the Jamaican. Here comes Antonio Watson. This could be a photo finish. The Jamaicans got it.
Nationwide 90 FM, we promise to give you A+ coverage powered by our silver sponsors, Digicel, Supreme Ventures Limited, and Pepsi.
You will make a way. You have always made a way, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Some days high and some days low, but I will not give up. No, I won't let go. I know God will make a way for me. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Talk Up It Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth, right here on Nationwide at 90 FM. And of course, it's a Saturday. I want to bless up the place, so big up to Jermaine Edwards for that one. You know, God will make a way, and he made reference to the open doors. And there are some doors that we must not open on social media. I'm going to get back to that conversation just now. What's important, Stephen and Shannon, is that the Minister of Information, she made reference to two keywords there, which I think the listeners must understand. Because we have to put things into context.
Of course, naturally.
Misinformation versus disinformation. Right? So misinformation is false or inaccurate information, getting the facts wrong. And sometimes we can get the facts wrong. Disinformation is false information which is deliberately intended to mislead. So you're intentionally misstating the facts.
Okay, got you.
Now, with the conversation at hand, I'm now wondering if it's more leading to the disinformation.
One would hope.
And not the misinformation. Because as we talk about going after people and tracking, we now really have to kind of really look at what is it that the government is really saying. But I know just before the break, both of you wanted to chip in there. So
I defer to Shannon.
to the expert. Steve, now go ahead.
It's what we were talking about. So this issue of, I can track and find and all of that kind of a thing. I think we have to be very careful of how we use that kind of language around political spaces, because what it tends to do is it intimidates it intimidates the population. So when the Prime Minister is going to say, and I won't get into whether he was right or wrong, you can catch me off here for that piece, but when he's going to say that they have the capacity to do this kind of thing, and then the Information Minister is going to come and say they have the capacity to do this kind of thing, what I as a citizen leave with is a certain level of intimidation, not a certain level of trust in the government, and
which she did also point about the need for trust, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's important for the government to have that kind of capacity, but to weaponize it in a particular way is where I'm having a challenge, and the language that is being used around it is where I'm having a challenge.
And I agree. How things are said, you might not intend it to come off that way, but it does come off as if it's fair. It's a fair tactic that you're pushing forward. The reality of it is, the laws that we have are not in any way, shape, or form in relation to social or digital media. But there are ways in which you can use it for that of, she spoke about it, the matter of misinformation and also the matter of disinformation. Because we do have a law which it covers under the Data Protection Act 2023, which speaks to disinformation and misinformation, and how is it that you protect that data. Also, the Broadcasting Commission, it also speaks to that. Now, for you to regulate it that way is going to be difficult. We said it earlier. I'm not sure how they would do it, but the only way for them to do it is through that of broadcasting, not through that of somebody posting something randomly. It's not how you do it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult.
You're going to be chasing your tail.
Yes.
Everybody's posting. How are you going to implement that?
So maybe it's a matter that the Prime Minister has intention of presenting a new law, or adjusting the law so that it factors in digital media. Maybe, sure.
And not only that, in terms of even looking at it, we don't have control over these major social media entities, platforms that users have access to. So now, if you're thinking along that line, then you have to thinking about inviting to the conversation these international companies, the X and the Instagram and so on, to look at that, and that is not something that will be done in a matter of a year or so on.
I didn't find that we're there yet.
Right.
I didn't find that we have that problem.
Well, I think something that the government, both opposition and the current government, should look at is their information tactic, because it does come off to be very contradictory. It does come off to be misinformation and also disinformation. we were speaking about it in the
break.
break as it relates to that of how do you utilize your own social account for that of government business. It should never be done, but it's done. Prime Minister does it. Mark Golding does it.
They all do it.
Everybody really does it. Almost every single minister, almost every single potential, MP, MPs,
Political
they
aspirant.
do it. All of
Right.
them. So, understanding that, then I believe the parties themselves would have to come up with policies to guide how it is that they use social media.
Because
and the
on-
ministries should also have their own policies. But I don't think we need a national policy on
It's
that.
almost as though workplaces have social media policies about what you as an employee of this particular workplace are allowed to do on your personal social media. Something like that, because if we're going to be talking about misinformation and disinformation, we have to be very sensible about it. We have to treat with how members of political parties, I keep almost saying members of government, members of political parties are handling themselves in the online space, because it is one thing to go after John Public and say, hey, you need to do that, but when you point one finger, 3 point back. So what are the political representatives, let me use that term, how are they being regulated as well?
Correct. And it also
Yeah.
goes back to, let's go, the fact that we're in an election kind of
Mode.
vibration.
Which is why
How
the language is
then-
particularly intimidating.
There we go. Because how then do you use
Right.
that same behavior
Right, and it has to be
to
clear.
help you to win an election? Because you're going to do it. You're going to speak ill of your opponent.
Right.
It happens every single time. So they dig up stuff from way back when, which again can be what? It can be what?
Misinformation.
There
or-
we go.
And then if you tweak it, no, it becomes
Disinformation.
disinformation.
There we go.
Right,
So how does it work?
And my thing, back to the devil's advocate side, that if you are the government of the day and you are a minister, so on, or MP, how do you get away from posting stuff on your personal page? Well, I hear you saying that it should be separate.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
100%.
I can't take my personal page, post my workplace business, but that is what they've been doing. So
Okay.
if it is that the Ministry of Computer needs to have something going out into the public, me as the Minister of Computer, Stephen Francis, should not be posting that from my page. It comes from the Ministry of Computer's page, and if
Correct.
Stephen want to repost it, Stephen repost it.
Correct.
All the social media apps allow for that, right? But then to come back to the larger question of how we combat this misinformation and disinformation, and something we were talking about in the break. You can't fight fire with fire and expect the fire to be put out. You have to come with information that is correct. So public sensitization of
Is very important.
and
Yeah.
what I can say, and we have all these conversations in the break, but we have been talking about the current information minister's, how she has been handling the portfolio. It allows me particularly to repose a certain amount of confidence in
Yeah,
her,
man,
because
it's palatable.
Right.
Yeah.
it's relatable,
Yeah.
right? And so it also exists in digestible chunks that people can say, okay, that 5 things that you need to know about in government and that kind of a thing.
Yeah, type
so
of
when
thing.
you have the ministry, and well, don't go there, but when you have the ministry giving you the information that is fact, it helps to combat the narrative that is false narrative and the
Right.
fake things.
And the truth is,
And you see them in
go
a
ahead.
different light once that is done. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I was just saying the truth is that same method that is used by the information minister, it's not new, because the prime minister actually started. He was the first one to do it, and it moved over to the information minister. If every single minister could do that, I think that would be beautiful as it relates to the information that's being disseminated, because then you would have this to say, oh, this is really what happened.
Right.
Opposed to, oh, but here's such and such at me, and then John Tom tell me such and such. So therefore, I now create my own viewpoint and narrative, and I now spread that.
And another thing that I think in addressing what's happening in the public, we should help people to understand more of exercising the greater responsibility of how they manage social media. So I understand, as I said, that there might be some persons who might just deliberately give trouble, they're mischievous.
Yeah.
But apart from just saying we're going after them, help them. And by whatever means necessary or possible, that we need to be helping these people, as you said, greater public awareness, public education, have the seminars, have the workshops, break it down, go into the communities, and help them to understand the whole matter of managing social media information, that kind of a thing.
This is a
That
beautiful way.
yes.
I know I stepping in, but that's
Yeah.
a beautiful way for the ministry, which to many is the most or is the failing ministry. That's the Ministry of Legal Affairs, Legal and Constitutional Affairs. This would be a beautiful way for them to introduce the new policy, which I'm assuming it's a policy that the Prime Minister is coming with, and for you to then do public campaigns, educational campaigns through the public quote unquote town halls that the ministry intends to do, the school tours that they do. This is a way in which, instead of reinventing the wheel, the information minister just need to team up with the ministry.
I think too, instead of just giving people the information, you need to give people the skills to decipher between what is fact and what is fiction.
Correct.
Because a lot, I think it was the health ministry who did that during the pandemic, helping people to identify what is fake news versus what is real news. A lot of the times we take for granted that people have the capacity to decipher between those two things when it's the old saying, common sense is not that common. Not saying that Jamaicans don't have common sense. Please forgive me if that's what you got. But helping people, empowering people to make better decisions, to find fact, because we talk about fact checking as one of the things that but how many people know how to fact check? How many people know which organization is the authority on the source, on the information rather? Not a lot of people are aware of these kinds of things. So it is one thing to give people the information, but you have to empower them beyond giving them the information.
So I just want to highlight a few things. I know you have a little bit of time, but if we do go ahead and say regulate, right? We have the positive side of it is that we reduce misinformation. Great, dandy. The fact that we improve that of our online society, how it is that they think, how it is that they operate. Got it. The matter of enhanced privacy. Now people won't be able to speak about people in a particular way in terms of the information that you have about them or the assumptions you have of them, right? And then the final one is us being able to promote our local content even more, all right? Those are, 5?
4.
Great, 4. All right, great. Now we've got some negative aspects to it. One of the negative aspects is the biggest one to me, is that of censorship. You're basically trying or aiming to silence. That's really what it comes off. If somebody can't speak their mind, if somebody can't tell you how they feel, you're saying to them, yeah, you can't do this online. You can say it to me face to face, but you can't say it online. It makes no sense to a lot of people. You're restricting that of expressions. That makes sense. Somebody needs to be expressive. Jamaicans, we are naturally expressive, you know. Then the other thing is, quote unquote, the regulations could drive online activities underground, forcing people to speak ill even more on some wayward websites, making themselves dummy profiles. Like Twitter, you can't track anything on Twitter. You can track it on TikTok, you can track it on Instagram and Facebook. You can't track it on TikTok, on Twitter, which is X. You can't, right? So it's impossible. So you're going to have that. You're going to have people saying things and you can't do anything about it. As soon as you block them, they create another profile. It's easy to do, right? Now, the economic impact that will have will also be a big problem, because now what you will have is that people are not going to want to advertise as much as they do currently because of the censorship. So we have to think about it. Do we want that as a society which prides ourselves on freedom of speech and freedom of expression and all of them something there? Do we want to do that? Do we want to go into that rabbit hole? I don't think we do.
And then you mentioned enhanced privacy as one of the pros. The lack of privacy now becomes one of the cons, because if it is that you're exercising the capacity to do all of these things, it means you're encroaching on my privacy. And I get it. Sometimes you need to encroach on privacy a little bit for the safety of the mass. But then only insofar as you need to. And I don't think we have that much of a problem. Maybe the Prime Minister or whoever else is talking sits at a higher level and can see the bird's eye view that I might be missing for being on the ground. But I don't think we have that kind of a problem yet where we need to be going down that particular road.
True, and I mean, do we have the capacity to do that?
Which is another question.
I don't think we do. No.
Right. Wow. There's a lot can come out of this conversation. And one of the points I see the producer is talking about as well is terms of this aspect of digital transformation and how we move forward in the digital society. So again, the aspect of training and public awareness is also important, and we'd want to encourage the government, then challenge and encourage the government to do more of that as well, and to help people. And the Prime Minister said that some of them are young and they don't really know them things there. Them just a post, let's do more of this kind of public education campaign, as you made a recommendation through the ministry, was it legal affairs, constitutional affairs. That's an opportunity for them to take these matters to the road, educate the young people, and so we can see a better approach within the society, right? Then we can
more educated.
Right, yeah, man.
And just the point that incident that he spoke of, it should really be an eye opener to his own leadership. It should be an eye opener to say, okay, great, I get it. You have this problem, you have this concern. How then do I address this?
Right.
What should my PR team now do? That's what's important. He needs to look at it from that aspect and not necessarily from, okay, I need to censor you.
I need to silence all
Yeah, and invite the people to a conversation.
Let all ideas come
because the same time when somebody posts something, next day here, so they find them, bring them to a conversation. Bring them to the table.
Well,
let's have a
you
conversation.
can't find them based on the law.
Well,
so please get it right.
Okay. Not yet. But if they have any knowledge thereof, right, invite the people to the conversation. There's a lot more that we could talk about today, but this is something that's been happening within the media, within the media space, and it is our duty, especially as young people, as talk of youth as well, to respond and to bring the different angles, right? And we are learning the importance of fact checking, right? Because you don't want to come on here and speak that which is not so.
That is true,
right? And especially when you know where you are at, you have to ensure that you deliver very well. And for the persons out there who are into this whole matter of community reporting, everybody just wants to be a reporter. Be responsible with what you post and out there.
I want you to say that again because there's a vital word in that.
Be responsible.
Yes.
I was wondering if the vital word is the be, which is the verb. But be responsible, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Right. And for the social media sites that are helpful in the terms of access to quick information. For example, you're traveling on the road, an accident happened, you see one site, post it and so on. It's helpful information for you. But don't be always ready to jump at that and to trust what you always see out there. Know if it is true. Right? So again, as you said, be responsible.
Trust but verify.
Trust but verify. That's a great way to end that part of the conversation. Trust but verify. Be responsible. Shannon Dale Reed has been our guest for this segment, and we just want to say thank you so much. 17 years of experience within the field.
I was wishing he doesn't go. He didn't go to that now, but it's all right. I'm an old man. That's what you say.
No, but I want the listeners to know that when we bring people on the show, it's people who have experience within the field, so they can
that
speak
we don't
well.
misinform and disinform.
There you go. So we thank you so much, Shannon. But before we go, just quickly, in the social media aspect as well, the national and junior trials are on at the National Stadium.
I know. Last night, nice.
Last night was lovely. Yeah. Unfortunately, I could have been there to other duties. But I understand that the 100-meter
America,
race.
look out.
Yeah, man. This year Olympic is going to be great. Congrats to is it Kishane and also
Noah Lyons, Nervios.
Right, Nervios and Sharika Jackson as well for her win. And what's so beautiful is that the stadium came alive for Shelly and as well. And also Shelly and Fraser Price making her spot for the Olympics as she seeks to wrap things up, and that's really commendable. So it's going to be
her fifth
exciting.
Olympics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also want to wish a speedy recovery to Elaine Thompson-Hero, who has that Achilles injury.
Right, so, and wish her all the best. And to all athletes who are going through, some type of injury during this time.
Yes.
So look forward to that, to the Olympics. It's going to be great. Let me see if I can pop into the stadium a little later on.
200 later.
Yeah, man.
200 meters.
We have to be there for that and the finals for tomorrow. And so it's a great weekend. Sports bring people together.
That's true.
Brings a nation together, and so we want. And I think the other day we were talking about which event was it? Was it the Olympics when we said that there was no crime that was reported some years ago? So providing that we do well again,
There's a coincidence.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we will do well again.
We definitely.
I'm proud of the gentleman because I was worried. Me that said no, it not
Yeah.
happen. But then when I saw last night,
man.
say, yeah, man,
promising.
we're ready for that. So,
Look like we're ready.
Yeah. When people are wondering where Kisha the regard, when we yourself go good talk, we go coach. Obliques, yes, I'm definitely looking hard for them, and the sport is alive. There's still hope. There's still things that are happening in Jamaica, and we look forward to what will happen at the stadium today and also tomorrow as we look at the final team that will go forward for the Olympics this summer. Final comments from Stephen and Shannon?
Trust but verify.
Trust but verify. All right, Shannon.
Be responsible and understand what it is that you're posting. Always fact check.
Always fact check. Well, that's where we're going to leave it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you to our producer today, holding things down. I will not mention my name, but Damian Rose. Ladies and gentlemen, let's big him up for the work that he has done today. He has taken the lead. I'm not afraid to say that in my absence. So big up to Damian Rose. And of course, our big bad engineer, David McNeish, our executive producer, Empress Golding, and to the Nationwide family for giving us this opportunity to be on radio each and every Saturday. We thank you so much. To our listeners, our YouTubers, this is not possible without you. So until next week when we do it all over again, this is Damon Scarlett.
This is Stephen Francis.
And I'm Shannon Dale.
All right.
Talk up, Yout, Mr. Faye.
Talk up, Yout. See you next week.
Anything these answers will prosper. Anywhere you plan me, Lord, that's where I will go.
This outstanding 6'4"